What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be looking at the Cradle map in Last Oasis. I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know about this map. If you are a new player or a returning player, I highly suggest you stick around to the end. Later in the video, I will be giving you some tips and tricks for this map, such as what to prioritize first and some beginner stat point builds. Real quick, before I do get into the video, you'll see throughout the video on the top that I have a whole bunch of levels and points. I could not find a server to restart on for this guide, so I reset all of my stats and I'm starting with nothing, just like a normal player would. Even though it does say I'm level 60, I have no points spent except a couple points in damage to kind of mimic leveling up in the early game. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. First things first, guys, we're going to start off with the map layout. The trade station will have an icon like this on every single map. This is the only map with static respawn locations located on the outside of the map. The point of interest will always have the pyramid icon with the question mark. The inner circle is where you'll find the biggest and best camps with the best loot. The center of the map will have a bunch of lootables in it, but with no Rupu guard in it. Next up, we're going to get into the resources. On screen, I will break down all the resources on this map into harvestable and lootable. The harvestable are the resources you can get with tools. Lootable are the resources that you can get through refining or killing Rupu or looting the Rupu huts. Unlike future or past videos in this map guide series, I usually break down where to find all of the higher tier resources of that map. This is going to be the only map where I don't do that, just because of how little resources are actually on this map. I will be going over where to find earthwax and the bone later in the video. Honestly, you'll just be able to find all of these resources through hitting camps or just exploring anywhere on the map. There isn't really a specific place on the map to get each of these resources. Now I'm going to be breaking down all of the camps that are currently on this map. This first camp is just a small Rupu outpost. It's going to have 2 Rupu. It's just going to have a campfire in the middle or a loot bag as well in the middle. There is another version of this that also has a campfire and a loot bag in the middle, and those will have 3 Rupu guarding it. The next biggest camp on this map is going to be called Small Rupu Hut. There's going to be 4 Rupu guarding it. And as for the loot, there is going to be a loot bag on the side towards the back, and then a small urn inside the hut. The next biggest camp is going to be called Small Rupu Outpost. This one is going to have 3 different small huts, 2 of them on the bottom and then 1 up top. This one is going to be guarded by 4 Rupu as well. In the video, you'll see that I actually aggro a second camp over off to the northeast right there, which is why there's so many. But normally there'll just be 4 Rupu here. And then the loot inside the huts, there is a single urn inside each of the huts. Another thing to notice is that there will be a resource called Rupu Vine hanging off the entrances of the hut that you can harvest. You will need a sickle to harvest them. If you don't have one, you can harvest it by hand. You'll need that for a variety of different things throughout your progression in this game. Moving on to the center of the map, you will get to our first big camp. This one is going to be called Reinforced Rupu Outpost. This is going to be the first camp that you'll encounter with a walker weapon. It is going to be a scatter shotgun right in the middle. This one will be guarded by about 6 or 7 Rupu, including the one on the scatter shot. For the camp loot, you are going to find an ammo crate right by the scatter shot. You're going to also find a loot bag on the opposite side of the ammo box. You're going to find a loot bag hanging off the smaller hut. You're going to find an urn in the smaller hut. And then in the big hut, you'll see the Rupu Vine in the entrance, and then you should see an urn on either side of the hut. The last camp on this map is going to be another reinforced Rupu outpost. It just seems to be a variation of the first one. This one adds a Rupu on a ballista as well as the scatter shot in the middle. Everything about this outpost is going to be the exact same. The layout is just a little different. The small Rupu hut is going to be on the opposite side of the big one. It's still going to have the loot bag on the side of it. It's still going to have the urn inside of it. The scatter shot is still going to carry the ammo box and loot bag on either side. Large Rupu hut, you're still going to find 2 urns inside of it. Next thing I'm going to just briefly go over is the loot in the middle. It's a big broken down camp with a bunch of broken down walkers in it. I've only found a couple Rupu in it, and I'm gonna be honest, the loot is pretty lackluster. Even for the Cradle map, I wouldn't really recommend going in here. You are much better off with your progression to just keep hitting the big camps if you're gonna stay on this map. The only event that spawns on this map is actually the Crate Walker event. But for those of you who don't know, there's gonna be a big walker with the same point of interest icon that I showed you earlier in the map. You'll get on the sticks of the walker and you'll just drive it around for 10 minutes. Whoever drives it around for 10 minutes first will get the loot in the big crate on the front of it. Some notes here. You have to keep pressing W the entire time to add to the 10-minute timer. If you press H and you get off the sticks, it actually will not count, and you'll hear the crate at the front of it stop cracking. You'll hear, if you drive it normally, you'll hear like a cracking or breaking sound at the front of the walker. This is the same type of event that spawns on every other map if you've watched some of my other videos. The loot is going to be associated with that map. Because each map you'll get different resources, different tiers of weapons, tiers of gear, etc. So on this map, it's real basic cookie cutter, beginner friendly loot. You're gonna get fiber armor, you're gonna get crude hatchets, maybe even stone hatchets. You can get the very beginner weapons. You're not gonna get anything bone tier or above. Everything is gonna be on the stone tier. You can still get rigs, from what I can see, but as for the types of rigs, you're only going to be able to get Firefly, Nomad, Spider Walker, and possibly even the dinghy rigs. Next up, we have the Cradle Meteor. This is going to be the only place on the map to get bone and the Earthrax resource. You'll also get stone in these. As far as the harvestable resources, there is no bone and there is nothing to be able to stop Earthrax. You won't get those until the medium maps. So if you do stay on this map for a while, it is definitely worth getting those meteors because eventually you'll be able to craft the bone tier tools with them, which is the next tier up from the starting stone tools that you're going to be making. Last but not least, I'm going to be getting into some tips and tricks with your progression. This is mainly going to be for new players if you haven't played the game before or if you're a returning player. The progression did change slightly. The first thing I'm going to mention, and this is the biggest change from Season 5, or from past tests in between Season 5 and 6 if you were a part of those. The Cradle, as of Season 6, is once again optional. So you can actually press escape, hit respawn, and then on the menu on the left, you're gonna be able to see an option that says spawn on different Oasis. There will be medium maps up from the first minute of the new season. So if you are an experienced player or you have been playing for some time, the first tip that I can give you is to actually skip this map entirely. I will be making a guide of this same type for the media map, so make sure you go and check that out before you do skip this map, just to make sure you know everything about it. But staying on this map will slow down your progression because you won't have access to the bigger camps, to certain resources. The biggest thing is going to be bone and cattail, which are going to be needed for bone tier weapons and for a variety of other craftables. But with that being said, if you are a new player or you haven't played in a very long time, it is perfectly okay to take your time and stay on this map for as long as you need. Practice fighting the large camps because in the media maps, the camps are only going to get bigger with more Rupu. Practice fighting the large groups of camps, fighting more than one Rupu at a time. Those are going to be very good skills to have before moving forward. As for progression, I think there are a couple non-negotiables when you're first starting out. The very first thing that you should be unlocking is purified water in the campfire. It is under the blue construction key. You will actually also be unlocking a lot of the stuff I'm going to be talking about through the quests. I highly recommend that you also follow the quests, but I'm just going to be kind of reiterating a lot of what the quests teach you. You want to unlock beginner tools, crude hatchet, stone hatchet, simple sickle, simple pickaxe. Building the dinghy walker is going to take some time, so Don't be afraid to build the Nomad Spider Walker and a small chest to keep your loot safe as you keep hitting the camps and get enough stuff to get the Dinghy Walker. The Dinghy Walker should be your first goal. It's going to give you the most deck space, it's going to give you the most respawns, it's going to be faster than the Firefly, than the Nomad Walker, and the Spider Walker. It is going to be the best walker if you are on the Cradle though. Once you get to the media mats, there are other walkers that I would recommend for different things, but most people end up building a Dinghy Walker as their first walker just because of how easy it is and how good it is. Another tip is no matter what walker you build, make sure that you're always putting your best loot packed inside the walker. At the beginning of the game, nobody is going to be raiding into walkers, at least for the first handful of days, unless you piss off a big group. If you're a solo or like a duo, no one's going to be shooting fire arrows in your dinghy anytime soon. So pack your best loot into the walker. The next tip I can give you is actually focusing on water and respawn. Your goal on the Cradle is to not lose all of your stuff. If you just go and venture out and you run in and you die, you're going to have to respawn back at one of the starter spawn points, run back to your loot. You're going to be down a bunch of water and probably some health on the way there. The first thing you should do is hit a small camp or hit multiple small camps if you can. Get a couple levels, unlock tools, and start harvesting resources to build your first walker. Set your spawn on the walker, build a campfire, start hitting cactus, and start getting water for respawns. The sooner you start doing that, you're going to find your life on this game to be way easier because you won't have to constantly be started back at the spawn point. Another thing with the campfires, the recipe for bandages has changed in season 4. You will need ash and fiber instead of just fiber. So once you start cooking your first water, you're going to also be getting ash in the campfire. Use that to make bandages immediately. Use the charcoal to make fiber armor immediately. If you're new to the game, that was probably a lot of information at once, so I'm just going to kind of break it down. The first thing you should do when you spawn, gather resources and do the quests, unlock the crude hatchet, and start hitting these super small camps. Then unlock simple tools, harvest just a little bit of resources it takes to build the Nomad Walker. You will need some wood shafts, so you might have to hit a handful of these small camps to get them. I recommend getting the small Rupu huts, which is the camp with one hut. Those have a higher chance of dropping wood shafts. Once the Nomad Walker is made, build a campfire and build a small chest. Start cooking cactus in the campfire to start getting water. Make an improvised bottle so you can start carrying water. And then once you make a campfire and a chest, you can actually pack those in your Nomad Spider Walker. When you look at the core of it, it'll light up, scroll down to packing, and then you can select each of those things and pack it. I recommend the Nomad Walker because you can pack 3 things inside of it. 2 chests and a campfire is pretty standard. Keep your important stuff in the chest. Make sure you have respawns. Make sure you have bandages. Now I know for a new player, this is a lot easier said than done. When I first started the game, I spent hours on the Cradle. It is normal. You are going to struggle hitting the camps with multiple Rupu. It is perfectly okay. If you need to, you can switch the order. Instead of getting a walker first, you can throw down a campfire right away and start burning wood, just so you can make bandages and stay alive more. That is perfectly reasonable too. You have 2 options early game for your points. I highly recommend for your perks, everybody start with experience from Rupu. The faster you level up, the more stat points you'll get, which can boost your damage, your health, and the more perk points you get, which can then boost pretty much anything you want in the game, whether it be your fighting ability, your farming ability, or even your ability to use walker weapons. As for the stat points, I personally like damage over health, just because I can kill Rupu a little faster. But if you are new to the game, I will 100% recommend putting your first 10 to 15 points into health, just so you can survive more. Survivability is everything in this game. The less you die, the faster your progression will be. That's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and subscribe for future guides and tutorials. If I didn't miss anything or you guys have anything you want to add, please leave a comment down below. I try to make sure I read all of the comments. And with that, guys, I will see you in the next one. Adios.